If you're new here, welcome to my daily series where I document behind the scenes of exactly how I'm scaling my new design agency whilst traveling the world. A quick update on the agency: we now have 2 clients on the go, could potentially have 3 clients by the end of tonight. One of the clients is a free golf brand logo, which we sent the direction off in last video. Now, unfortunately, they want to see direction presented for mood board 1, although originally they asked for mood board 2. So we're gonna have to currently put that on hold because we've got a paid client, which is a £2,000 brand identity for a hair product business, which obviously we need to prioritize. Now, in other news, we also potentially could have a 5K brand identity project later on today. I've got a client call at 10 PM. And tomorrow we've also got a merchandise design day. So I've collaborated with a DJ called Sosa, and we're gonna be creating his merch line for his tour, which is gonna be in November, which is gonna be very exciting and very illustrative. So the plan for today is to develop Jude's brand identity, which is for a hair product business, and we're going to be doing that in a co-working space in Canggu. I'm gonna start by showing you the revised mood board. We're gonna select some typography, select a color palette, and then we're going to refine the logo type. To wrap up the day, I need to create a reel for my personal brand, and then we finally got the client call, which is hopefully going to be our second paid project within 3 weeks. I believe this is the first day of the 3rd week since going away and starting the new agency. So pretty good. We could be looking at billing about 10K this month, and that's 10K pounds. So that'll be a really, really strong first month. Now in Canggu, I've been networking with a few designers, so I'm hoping to be able to create more of an interactive vlog where I bring in other designers and start to document the process, working with people in person, because I think that would be way more engaging and way more exciting for you guys to watch as well back at home. Now, I've also got a few designers that I've been lining up to work with across the world, because this way we can take advantage of the time zones and also produce top quality work for the clients. Now, unfortunately, I've lost the microphone for my DJI mini vlog camera. So I'm gonna have to primarily use this big main camera, which means it'll be better quality. However, I won't be able to get many action shots, so the action shots are probably gonna be B-roll. So anyway, I'm gonna get a Grab now, which is one of the bikes that they use in Bali to get from A to B. I'm gonna buy a bike soon because I've just done a scooter lesson yesterday. So let's get a Grab.
Beautiful day. Quick story, there was actually an earthquake the other morning that woke us all up, and it was literally shaking the bed up and down, the whole room was shaking. And then we had a look at the walls, and the walls literally coming out of the building. I'll try and show you a clip if I make one in time. So starting off at the top, we have got Jude's updates in terms of the strategy. Nothing major, this is simply just tweaking words slightly, so we don't have to worry about this. It's something we're going to change later on. We're focusing more on the design aspect now. And you can see he's uploaded some additional inspiration. He's mentioned how he likes the sleeker look. However, the only concern with that is we're going with a bold, unapologetic vibe. We really want the logo to represent that, and we want the typography also. So I don't like to have a logo that is a lot thinner than the typography, because it just doesn't look right and it doesn't look cohesive. So I think that we're going to have to create a bit of a thicker logo. Or if we do end up creating a thinner logo, then by having it in italics, we can still portray this sense of energy rather than a weak, thin logo. But I think we're quite aligned in terms of his vision. He's also done a sketch here, which is really, really good, and I'm impressed. Quite a lot of the times a client will send over a logo and it'll be pretty shit, like a draft of a logo. So I'm gonna actually see what I can do with this logo and see if I can try and create different variants of it, because I really like the idea that he's gone for. It's very impressive. Obviously we've got the matte black here for the packaging. He also likes the accents in the background here as well, which I also like. So I think we'll be able to create a pretty cool brand, but I'm going to start with the typography. Once I'm happy with the typography, I'll be able to then figure out how big we can make our logo. And what I usually do when selecting typography is select all the fonts that I think will suit the brand, put them into one huge Illustrator document, and then simultaneously change all of the text at the same time to say Volatile, which is the name of this brand. Reduce the list down to about 5-10 different fonts, and then we will pick the favorite from there. I think for the imagery of this brand, which I've not put on here, I'm going to propose a disposable camera. This way we can really portray that raw, authentic feel, and it also aligns with the cooler look, because I know a lot of streetwear brands are taking to this nowadays, and it's a similar target audience, to be completely honest. So I'm going to go away now and select some fonts on Envato Elements, Adobe Fonts, even have a look on other sites as well, just to try and get as many fonts as possible. Sans serif fonts, maybe tall and bold, that's what I'm after, that's what I'm feeling right now. I think condensed would be well because obviously volatile is quite a long name, but we'll see. I think maybe having a type that can expand and condense would be really cool as well, and we can create a really unique visual identity with that, with different widths of font letters. So I'll jump back on once I've found a few fonts. Last minute pickup.
You don't have
A helmet?
yeah.
No, I'm going to buy a bike and a helmet today. Do you run?
Never driving with someone.
Yeah.
See you in a bit. I'm gonna go and get my
Perfect.
my laptop.
Sam, thank you very much.
Okay, so a couple of hours have gone by. Here are the fonts that I've selected. Now I'm going to show you a quick tip. So select your artboard with all your fonts on, duplicate it by holding Option and dragging it across. And now you're going to have one side, highlight them all, and you're going to have it all in capitals by going to Character and clicking the double T, which is all caps. So now to change all of the text, all you need to do is go to Edit at the top, head down to Find and Replace, and now type in the text that you'd like to replace, and then you replace it with whatever text you like. So for this brand, it's obviously called Volatile, so we're going to type that in at the bottom. Click Find, Replace All, and now you will see every single font has changed. So I'm going to go through all of these fonts, narrow them down to about 5 or 6 fonts that I like, and then we're going to try and play around with the typography to see if there's any font that stands out as the clear winner. So after running through all the fonts, these are the, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fonts that I've narrowed it down to. And to be honest, this font here is the one that I'm feeling the most right now. I quite like these capital variants at the top right, but I really do think it's out of this one, and this one. I'm really liking this type at the minute. Now I've found a font that's stretchy, like I mentioned before. It's a variable font. However, it's not variable, just you can change the letters to make them really expand widely, and I think it would just create a really cool brand identity, especially with the values that we've gone for, with it being like authentic, bold, unapologetic. I think this really does say that. Now I'm going to experiment with a few different directions. This is a really minimalist layout down here with the just putting like the volt in instead of the I. It's very, very standard, very, very generic. However, it works really, really well. But to be honest, I think I'll make a completely separate logo. In fact, I definitely will. But this font, Nokia Expanded, I just love the style. You can make it really thick, make it really thin, but you can also expand the letters, which is really cool. And I think you can make some extremely cool marketing pieces with it. Social media posts, everything that we need, packaging. I think this is going to be potentially the winner. We've got a few other fonts in the run here, but after I've made this style on the right, I just can't make my mind up. So I think I'm going to develop a few different identities. The next step now, I'm going to create a few different logos in line with this. So we've got the typography, choices anyway. We've got the color palette. I'm happy with this color palette, but I'm probably going to play around with a few more as well, just in case something catches my eye that's better, just in case this isn't the winning color palette. But first impressions after experimenting with a lot of different types, I'm really, really liking this font, and I think considering it's a hair product company, I could see this looking amazing. So the logo stage consists of sketching a lot of logos. It's basically an exploration. There's no set time frame that you can set that's really going to land on the winning mark, because you never know when you're going to hit the winning mark. And I always say this. I've had it sometimes where within 5 sketches I've had what I considered to be the winning mark. But then on the plane when I was sketching these logo variants, I couldn't land on the winning mark. This is actually the first time that I've chosen the typography first. And I think it's going to make the whole process a lot easier. I think I saw Chris Do mention it in a podcast. I'm not sure which podcast it was, but I remember when he said it, I thought, maybe I should give that a try. So this is the first time I'm trying that. And yeah, hopefully it's going to make the logo process a lot easier. So I've been experimenting with this direction, and I've got to say, this looks pretty cool as well. So this is going to be one of the directions that I present to Jude, which is very bold, very unapologetic. And I think the negative space works very nicely in the V. However, I never make my mind up on the direction of the brand until I've completed the entire identity behind it. Look how messy this workspace is. If your workspace doesn't look like this, then you're probably not doing a good enough job. I think it's always good to really explore many, many different ideas, because your first idea is most likely not your best idea. You've got to keep playing around with different things, and you find that the more variants you create, the more ideas it sparks. So you might get to a limit where you've sketched everything you could possibly have sketched onto a piece of paper, and then you start to develop it in Illustrator, and you can just come up with so many more ideas by just simply copy and pasting the artboard, tweaking things slightly. And eventually you'll create a masterpiece. First time on the bike, holy shit. I completely forgot to ride this thing. So the reason I got stopped by the police before was because I had no helmet on, which was a 250,000 fine, and then I also didn't have a license, so they fined me $1 million, which is about £50. But yeah, the roads are crazy out here. I would turn it, but I don't want to crash. I'm probably going to stop and then turn it and then go backwards. Look for a place to pull in, ideally on the right side so I can go back on the other road. My tank is empty, which is not good. I could do with going across the road.
Times before I give it up, still I give you more.